Hey guys, it's your girl Coach Yana, and today we are talking about something super important: internet safety. So before I even get into it, let's start with this so we can really paint the picture. Most parents and guardians of today would not allow their children to go to the movies or go to the park or go to the mall or whatever unattended. However, a lot of parents and guardians will allow their children to play games like Roblox and Fortnite and all of these different things unattended. Now, going to the park or the playground or whatever, you're up against the people in your neighborhood. And if your child does not come home, you notice. If, on the other hand, your child is playing Roblox in the living room, shares information in their living room or whatever, there's no way you would know. There's no way you would know. And by the time you found out, it could, there's a lot of things that can transpire between then. So it's very, 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 very important that we are teaching children to be safe. Now, on the other side, we're not trying to teach children to be scared as well, because they have to exist. This is a world, and we have to teach them how to be able to enjoy things, but in a safe way. So first and foremost, I would say if your child is like 10 and under, I would say they should never be playing Roblox unattended. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. That's just the truth. That's just the truth. I think honestly, maybe not until like 13, maybe. I feel like 13 is a good age, but before that, especially as a children's confidence coach and knowing, like someone like me, I have a natural gift of building trust with people quickly. I've developed it over the years because I've had like Instagram live interview shows. I have had like so many of those. I have a podcast now. So I've been interviewing people like for years. And the thing is, like, I don't plan my interviews. I don't have any questions prepared. Like, honestly, I don't even read the people's bios because I'm genuinely just an interested and curious person. So I like for people to just be able to tell their story uninterrupted, and we just have a real conversation untainted by presumptions and things like that. So I say that to just say, like, I have a natural ability to be able to connect with people, and which is a good thing for me and the guardians and parents and children that I serve. However, I like with most gifts, a lot of people have gifts. So there are also people who can do the same thing that I can do, who are on the opposite end of the spectrum, who are looking to harm children. So it is more important than ever that we come together as a community to keep the children safe. One of the ways that I am doing that, I'm out here on the front lines helping to protect and preserve children and their innocence. One way that I am doing that is I have weekly social clubs where we play Roblox and things together. So they're not just out here on the internet free, just, with no supervision. Absolutely not. But they still get the opportunity to play. So it's teaching being prepared, not being scared. You can still utilize that, because I also know from experience that Roblox is a fantastic way of connecting with children. It's one of the fastest ways you can connect with them. And that is also why it's one of the ways we really, as a community, need to be monitoring them on. And also, not making them like, sneak and try to play the game, whatever, because once you get into that space, you can get into more dangerous territory. But for now, we're going to keep it relatively light while still getting the main point across. The main point across, of course, once again, is keeping the children safe and preserving their innocence, preserving their creativity, and preserving all of the things that cause them to be children for as long as possible. And then we'll watch and see how the world just transforms naturally. And as the adults in their lives, it is our responsibility and duty to train them. All right. And so once again, that's why I have these clubs. Another thing that we do in our clubs that you can also instill is making the good, smart decisions cool. Now, the children, because sometimes we have to go into public servers in Roblox, and this can apply to any game that's connected to the internet. But for these purposes, because we play Roblox, I'm going to talk about Roblox. So in Roblox, sometimes we have to go to a public server, which means that we're playing with anybody that's logged on. Most times we play in a private server, so it's just us, and I only friend students. So I don't play around when it comes to none of that stuff. So like that's something I really don't play with. So anyway, so then we go to the public server. Now the children that have been with me for a while, they already know what's up. So someone will try to friend them. They'll be like, oh, somebody tried to friend me. And in other places, having a lot of friends, like connections on social media, because it's basically a social media platform for real for children, and people, and with games. But anyway, on social media, it's like a flex. Like, oh, I have this amount of friends, I have this amount of friends. But in our club, it's not. On our clubs, it's more so like, do you know these people? And so I tell them, like, if you don't know somebody, don't friend them on Roblox. Like, no. So one time somebody asked, like, oh, somebody asked if I should be their friend. I'm like, no, don't. They're like, okay, I declined it. And then another student jumped in, well, you know, I never friend people I don't know. And that's an older child who's been with me longer. So now not friending strangers is cool. And so I don't even have to correct. I do. Like, don't get me wrong when I say this. I definitely do correct if they share private information with us, because they never do that in the servers, but sometimes they do still do that verbally, and I just want them to know, like, hey, don't share that. You know, hey, wait a minute. And then I will tell their guardian, like, hey, such and such shared X, Y, and Z, and so this is what I did, but you also need to know, because, you know, it's my duty when they're around me to keep them safe, period. And I don't take that lightly. But I say that to say I don't have to do it, because the older children, or the children who have been in my clubs longer, will say, hey, well, you know, I don't friend people I don't know. Don't do that. Like, it's not cool to do those things. So in general, not just with Roblox, but if you can make the good behavior, the behavior that is more preferred, especially for like growth and things, if you make that the cool behavior, then all the other ducklings will just start to fall in line, because they want to receive that same amount of shine from you. Children just want to be validated at the end of the day. And that's another part of internet safety. If you are not validating your child, they will seek validation from other places. And sometimes that can be from people on the internet. And unfortunately, as much as we would love and like everyone on the internet to be friendly and aware of children and, you know, protect them, there's people who are not like that. So we have to do what we need to do in validating our children and being around them, even if, because like the clubs are weekly. So there are some children that I only see for 45 minutes once a week. Then there are children that I see every day. I have a club for 45 minutes. But, and I love that, okay? Like, don't misunderstand the way I said that. I absolutely adore the fact that is the situation. What I'm saying is, though, someone just text me. Okay, thank you. What I'm saying is, though, that, dang it, the text threw me off. I was saying about, oh yes, if you validate them and are close with your child, even like I said, if you don't have a whole bunch of time, like 45 minutes a week, you know, and that, I'm just saying, like at a minimum, if you can carve out time where it's just you and them, where you're all enamored in what they got going on and really taking time to focus on them, then you'll also have less issues. And that's what I'd be saying, we're like, so many times, is if you have a bond and a relationship with your child, they'll be less likely to be susceptible to these various things like low self-confidence, low self-esteem, poor decision making. If you can see them in the way that they need to be seen to feel validated, if you can validate them in the way that they receive validation, you will see a totally different child. There are so many parents and guardians that message me like, I can't believe my child paid attention. And it's because because I understand what it feels like to be a child. So when I have the boys, when they're like doing like this stuff, when I'm trying to talk and like I'm trying to explain what SMART is, because internet safety is boring. So I'm trying to explain what internet safety is. The kids over here doing all this stuff. So you know what I do? I start doing all this stuff. Because for me, I don't care what they do, as long as they receive the information. That's what matters to me. And they do, because I be asking them questions while we're playing, and they answer. And when they clearly are not in the mood, I let it go and we have a little fun. I meet children where they are, because every child is different and every child expresses this stuff in a different way. And now it's easy for me to say, because I have them for like an hour, if that. And so that's easy for me to say. Hold on, speaking of, my mom is calling, but all that to say, just take your time one day at a time, and little by little you'll discover that your child is growing, and internet safety is so important. So if you need help, you can visit me at thelaptoplifecoach.com, and then you can also watch my snippet. Bye.
But I really wanted to tell you all. Oh me, oh my shepherd's pie. It took me forever to finally catch up with you. I just want to let you know that I am the #1 superty duperty fan of the human fan club. I know everything that there is to know about humans, and if you've spotted one, I will tell you some cool, interesting facts. They wear socks on their feet. They like to have popcorn, and they have water bottles. I think I misheard you. Did you just say water bottle? I mean, what could they need for a water bottle? Why would they put water in a bottle?